In this video, we're going to deep dive inside the container element of Elementor. We're going to see how it works, and we're going to use it to create more advanced stuff. Hi, my name is Stratos, and I'm constantly producing video tutorials about WordPress. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. The container element is not live yet. It's not officially released. It's still in beta version, but we're going to use it to see how it works. If you want to read about that, I will put the link for this post in the description below. This is a post from Elementor, so you can read all about the container element. Let's close that and let's go into the website that we're going to play with. As you can see, I have the Elementor beta, so using that, I can activate the container element to use it inside the pages that I want. If you want to do that, just go and install the beta version of Elementor. Keep in mind that you should not do that inside live websites because something most likely to break and the whole website is not going to work. Let's close that as well. And here, if you can see inside the Elementor settings, I have set the Flexbox container to be active. Let's close that page as well, and here is the page that we're going to play with. This section is something that I imported from the Library of Elementor, and we're going to use the container element to recreate this style. After that, we're going to use the container element as well to create something like that. This is the pricing tables, and we're going to copy some things of here and create something similar to that. I'm not going to go 100% exactly like this, but you will see how I'm going to work and you can understand how you can create more advanced stuff. Let's go back into the page. So let's start by adding here the plus icon, pressing the plus icon, and here you can see that the structure is a little bit different. So we can have a layout like here, like this one, but we also have something different like this. The container looks a little bit different, as you can see right from the box. Okay, let's click here to add a single row, single column. And if we go here, we will see that we have items. Once I open here the items, you will see that I have direction, align items, justify content, and here we have also Elementor gap and wrap. So all of those settings are basically controlling the items, as it says here, that are inside this container. You can set the direction. This is a row, so it means that they will all go inside the single row. And as you can see from the arrow, it points from the left to the right. So the elements will go one next to the other, starting from the left, and the second goes to the right of the first one. After that, you can also select column, not also, one or the other. And if you hit column, then the elements inside the container will go one on top of the other. The first will go into the top and then will go into the middle, and after that it's going to go for the next item. Also, we have the reversed row and reversed column. This is more for the mobile version of the page that you're going to build. After that, we have the align items, so you can align the items into the left, into the middle, or into the end. And here we have also the stretch. If we select something different from the row, this is the column, you will see that those icons will change. So if I select here the row, this will go on top, this is the middle, and this is the bottom. If I go for column, we have left, center, and right. Also, the justify content, as you can see, switches accordingly what you choose here. We're going to see everything inside this video again. Once I add here some elements, you're going to understand how this is going to work. After that, we have the elements cap, so basically what is the space between the elements, and then the wrap is if you want the element to be in a single line or go and break into the next line. So let's start by deselecting that. So this is how it initially starts. And here we're going to add first a heading. So let's go and add a heading. Once I do that, as you will see here, I have the element, the heading, that it will be across the whole row. If I click here the row, this is the heading, as you can see here. And if I go from the style and put here something, let's go into the background. Let's go into advanced background. And let's go and put here something for the color, red. As you can see here, the color is for the whole row. Even though the text of the heading stops here, the element is across the whole row. If I go up on here into the services and click here into the our services, as you can see, this is exactly the same. Even though it not takes the whole space, the whole row, the element itself goes from the beginning of the row until the end of it. Let's return to the container. I'm going to click here and I'm going to add another heading. Let's go and add another heading just to have something different. Okay, and I was meant to put that at the bottom. Okay, so we have something like that. Let's go again into the container. Let's go into the items. And even though nothing is selected, the default is to go one on top of the other, like rows. So basically, this is that is selected, the column, one column, so the elements will go one on top of the other. If I go and select the reverse column, then as you can see, the red one will go into the bottom and the second one will go into the top. Let's go and put that as column again. So now that we have selected the direction, and as you can see now everything is in column, I can set the align items to be in the start, in the center, or in the end, which will be the left, center, or right. And this will control inside the same row because I have select one column. So center or right, as you can see here, and then again center and then left. So this means that it will control the items inside each row. And this means that it will control the items inside the height. Now, in order to see that working, I have to go into the container and I have to go to put here a minimum height. So let's go for 400 pixels, something like that. Now you can see that this is the height that I have. If I go back into the items and if I select now the justify center, this will mean that it will go vertical into the center. If I go into the end, will go into the bottom inside the vertical order. All of those are because I have selected here the column. If I deselect everything, and there's no point on doing deselect first, but I want to do that in order to start from the beginning, I'm going to select now the row. This means that the two items are going inside the same row, so basically one next to the other. And now with that you control the height and that we control the row. So basically if I select here the center, this will go into the center and now they're going into the bottom. Let's go into the center and with that we're going into the center of the same row and here we're going into the end of the row. Here we're going into the beginning of the row. So depending on what you select here, those controls are going to change as you can see. Now, the icons do help a little bit, but I think that the name row and column here is a little bit wrong. I would prefer to see here something like vertical or horizontal alignment. Of course, this is because I'm used to working with Oxygen and this is something new, but this is how I do like things. Let's delete all of those and let's start from the beginning. I'm going to deselect the minimum height. I don't want that at the moment. So the first thing is go and click here to copy the our services. And let's go here. Let's add a heading. Paste here the our services. And after that, let's go here and put the style and the background type will be color black. After that, I'm going to copy the style and I'm going to paste it inside here. So now we have our services. Next thing is going into the container, layout, into the items, and I'm going of course for a column. So one will be on top of the other. As you can see, the align items is center and then the justify content is on top. Let's go and put a little bit of padding as well. So let's go into the advanced, let's go for the padding and let's go for top 75 and bottom 75. I'm not going to go and see how much this space is. It doesn't matter really. We're going to be really close to what we have here, but not exactly perfect. So after that, as we can see, it's using an intersection and here we have also 3 columns. So what we're going to do now is add another container after the heading. Let's go here and add another container at the bottom. Our services, I thought I left it in the bottom, but it doesn't matter. And let's open here the navigator in order to put the heading here on top. Okay, so now we have the container after the heading. Let's close the navigator and we're going to open it later on if we need it. And here you have to think the container as a box because basically it's a box. So it will contain the 3 columns that we're going to create. And every column will be a separate container. So let's go here, let's add the container and add inside here. So now that we have a container, let's open the navigator once again. You can see that I have the container and inside I have another container. I'm going to duplicate that container and duplicate it again. So we have 3 containers inside here. So after that, I'm going to select the first container that contains all of those containers. I do like those words. And I'm going to set the direction to be inside here row. So immediately I have created something like that, which is pretty similar to what we have inside here. Now, since we are inside the navigator, I would like here to be able to rename some of those containers, because once you start creating something more advanced, you will get a navigator with so many containers that you will not really be sure what every container is, and you will have to click it to see what comes in blue and what it's going to light in blue in order to see and identify that container. So I would like to be able to rename those containers inside here. Now let's click inside here, and as you can see, this is the icon box, but we're not going to use the icon box. We're going to use 3 different elements: the icon, the heading, and of course the text underneath. So let's click here. Let's go for the icon first. After that, let's go and add a heading. And I think this is because it's not ready yet. This is not finalized, but I'm not sure I can add it. Okay, I did it. I was able to add the heading beneath the icon. And after that, let's go and add a text heading inside here, text editor inside here, sorry. And okay, something like that. Let's go and change first the color. So let's go into the style and let's go and change the color into white. Then for the heading, I'm going to set that as H4, and I'm going to set the style again into white. And then we have this one, which is going also to get a white color. Okay, now I'm going to select here, and I'm going to try to select the container. This is the one, but this is for the whole row, so I need to click the container inside here. After that, I'm going to put a little bit of padding inside here because we have a padding inside the column. So let's go for 20 everywhere, and we're going to see if it's going to work for us or we need something more. Let's go for 20. Maybe 40. Okay, something like that. And then we're going to go into the layout, items, and we're going to put that to be items in the center. As you saw, only the heading changed. This didn't change, so we have to do it manually inside the editor, inside the text. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to the alignment for the center. So after that, I'm going to duplicate the whole container. Let's go and duplicate that, and let's again duplicate that. And I'm going to remove the last 2 containers. Let's go for this one, and I'm going to delete that, and let's go and delete that also. So we have, as you can see here, the 3 columns. Now, as you can see, they changed the layout, even though I have selected what I wanted, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's a bug. So let's go again here inside the container. Let's go into the items and select here center. Okay, this is center, but this heading is not center. So I have to go also select here and go into the content and select that to be in the middle again, into the center. After that, let's go and copy that and paste it here as a paste style again. So we have here the 3 columns. Next thing is go and clone the whole row here. So let's go and find the row. This is the one, and I'm going to click here and click duplicate. So this will duplicate the whole row with the 3 columns inside. So as you can see, we have created successfully the same layout as you can find it here. Of course, the color is not exactly white, but you can see how it's going to work. Let's close that and let's update. And now let's go into the front end and see what we have. Let's go refresh here. And now we have this, which was from the library, and this one is from the container that we created. Let's go and compare those things. Let's go and check here. Sorry for the Greek language that you see here. So let's go and select this heading, and let's go and see. This is the heading, as you can see, and this is inside one div for the row, second div, third div, fourth div, fifth div, sixth div. I think this is for the whole section. Yeah, this is the whole section. So 6 divs. Let's go and see how we have what we have inside here. So this is our services, and we have 1 div, 2 divs, 3 divs, and this was for the whole section. So as you can see, we have less divs inside here. So actually the DOM was less. We have less divs, so we have a cleaner code, and basically we will get a faster website using the container element. And that's of course the purpose of this update. And this is of course the power of Flexbox. It uses less HTML code in order to create something similar that we had before with sections and inner columns. Now let's go back here and let's go and create another section here, another container first. And after that, I'm going to add a heading. Let's go for something black. Okay. And let's select that and put that in the middle. Let's go for items and let's go and center that. After that, let's go into the container. Let's go to the advanced, and for the padding, I'm going to put here 75 for the top and 75 for the bottom. After that, I'm going to add another container underneath the heading. And inside here, I'm going to add 2 more containers, 1. And since I cannot click it, I'm going also to have the navigator open, and let's go here and duplicate that as well. Okay. And now for that container, I'm going to select the items to be in the same row, so basically 2 columns. Inside here, I'm going to add a heading with a text. And I'm trying to put that on the bottom. It's not too easy. Hopefully they will fix it. And here we have an image. Let's select something for here. Let's go and select this woman here. And let's go also and select the container and select the items. And I'm going to put those into the center like this and center, as you can see here. Okay, let's change the image. I'm going to need something bigger. So let's click the image and I'm going to select something different. Something like that. Okay, insert media. And we have something like that. So I'm going to switch back into this container and I'm going to choose that content to be in the center. So it will go into the middle of the height, as you can see here. And I'm going to select also here and select the style and put that in the middle as well. So a common layout is something, as you can see here, but this will repeat itself after that. So we need to have a duplicate container. So we have something like that. So you see we have a heading with the text and the image, and then we have exactly the opposite thing. We have a different layout with the image in the left and everything else in the right. So basically reverse columns. So we need to do that. We're going to select the container and we're going for the item. And I'm going to select now to have something like this. And as you can see, this works fine. This is how we want it to be displayed. Let's update that. And now we're going to select the responsive mode and we're going to see how it's going to work for the mobile. Let's go and see in the mobile. And here you will see that we have the heading first, then the text, and then this is the image, and then we have also the heading, text, and image. So I'm going to change that because I don't like how it looks for the mobile. And what I'm going to do is select the container and let's go for the items. And now I'm going to select that to be reversed. Sorry, wrong container. I have to select this container because this is for the whole section, the whole blog that we had before. And then I have to go into the items again and select that to be a reversed column, I hope. Let's click here. Yeah, reversed column. Even though this was selected, this is not correct because this was more for the desktop view, but now we are in mobile view, so we need to change that. Let's go again into this container. Hopefully this is for the whole one. Yeah, I think this is for the whole group. And I'm going to select again, and I'm going to select that to be reversed column as well. And as you can see now, the image is on top, then we have the heading, and then we have the text. And if I want to alignment into the center of the heading, I have to select here the center, and also to do that from here. Okay, let's update that. And let's go into the desktop view and close the mobile responsiveness. So now that we have created those two layouts, hopefully you can understand how the container works and how you can use it to create more advanced stuff. Let's go and try to create something like this. So the first thing that I would like you to understand is how something like this is composed. So we have 4 columns. So what we need in order to create that is create a container for the whole row, the whole section inside here, and then create one container for every column. So this whole thing is one container. And then we have the second, third, and fourth. 4 containers inside here as columns. And then this can have 1, 2, 3 containers inside here, and another one 4 containers for this column. The first is says students here for the beginner, then we have the price, then we have all of those, which will be one container, the whole of that thing, and then we have this little bit section here. So these are 4 containers. After that, this container contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 containers inside here that have an icon and here a text. So this is what we're going to do. Do not be afraid to use the containers that you need in order to create more advanced layouts. Let's go into here and let's go into the top, and we're going to click here. And first, let's add one row. Let's close the navigator, even though we may need it after that. I'm going to add a heading. I'm going to call it pricing or prices. Let's put that in the middle, and let's go here. And before, when I say in the middle, I mean in the middle for the whole element. As we said before, this is for the whole row. This element is grabbing the whole row, even though the text ends here. Let's go back into the container. I'm going into the advanced. I'm going to leave it a little bit of padding, 75 and 75 at the bottom. Okay, and after that we need to add another container inside here where we're going to build the boxes. So let's try to put that at the bottom of the prices. Okay, it didn't work for some reason. I don't know what happened here. Probably a bug. Yeah, it duplicated itself with no reason. I don't know why. So let's put that heading in the top and let's delete the last container. And after that, I'm going inside that container inside here, and I'm going to add 4 containers, which will play the role of the columns. One, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, so now back inside that container, and let's go into the items, and let's put that in the same row. And in this layout, you will see why we need to rename the containers. Let's go and see what we have inside here. We have first something that says here student for the beginner. And again, we have first 1, 2, 3, 4 containers inside this column. So let's add 4 containers. Let's add first here a container. And let's duplicate, 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 and duplicate. Let's go back here and let's start with the color. As you can see, this color is not exactly the same as this one, and not also here exactly the same color, and here also we have a different color. And I'm not going to go pitch perfect everywhere. So I'm not going to recreate the gradient that we have inside here or the gradient that we have inside here, because we have different color in here in the top and in the bottom of this container. So basically this is a gradient. But let's go and grab the color that we have here. Let's grab this one. And I'm going to put the color inside the whole column, not inside the container. I'm going to color the whole column. So let's try to find first the column. This is the one. And I'm going for the advanced. And then background. No, it's not here. Into the style, and then for the background I'm going to select the color to be this one. After that, we have here a heading. Let's go and see what we have here. So we have here student for the beginner. Let's go and put here a heading. Let's type here student. And then for the beginner, with another heading, probably. for the beginner. Okay, 1G, 2 N's, 1G, 2 N's, beginner. Let's go and put here the color to be white. And then for that, the color also to be white. Let's change here the typography, and I'm going to select here to have 400. And let's go for a size. Let's change first the content here to be H4. And then for that, let's change that to be H6 maybe. Let's go and select the container here. Not the correct one. This is the correct one, the container. And let's go for the items and let's put that into the center. And then I'm going to go and select that to have justify content into the center, because I'm going to put a little bit of height. So you can go and change the height of the container, or you can go and put a little bit of padding inside here. If you're going to put padding, there's no reason to go and justify the content, because since we have padding, it will go where the padding is going to allow it. But I'm going to choose it either way. And let's go into the advanced and let's go for padding and let's go top 20 maybe. And we're going to see it later on, and bottom 20, something like that. Let's go and see what we have here. So we have here this one. I think the text is okay, student and for beginner. Maybe I shouldn't make it that bold. Maybe I should change that from 600 to 400 as well. Something like that, or maybe 500. Maybe something like that. Okay, let's update that. And let's continue with the next one, which is the price. As you can see here, we have a dollar sign in here. We have $3.59 for the dollar, and then we have $.99 on top, and then we have the slash and the month. So we're going to add 3 containers here. The first will be for the dollar sign here on top, and then we have the $3.59, and then we have the third container that contains the 2 items inside here. The inner section would not allow us to use it 3 times, one inside the other, but containers do not share the same problem, so we don't have anything like that. So we're going to do that inside here. We're going to select that. Probably select that. Okay, it didn't work, I think. Let's go and add the container here if we can. Yeah, okay, it worked. And then duplicate and duplicate again. And now we have 3 containers. I'm going to select the first one, this container, and I'm going to select for the items and put those inside the same row like that. After that, here I'm going to add a heading, and this will say $3.59, $3.59. Then we have the dollar sign. Let's go and find it here. Okay, the dollar sign is here, and hopefully it will work with the icon. I don't know if an icon has a dollar sign. Let's see. Okay, let's put here dollar. This is the dollar sign. Okay, insert that. And we're going to wait for the third column here. So let's click here first and let's select that and let's change the style to white. Okay, and let's select also this one and change the style to white as well. And then I'm going to select the column, the container, and I mean the container for the whole section, the 3 columns. And I'm going to select that items to be into the center. After that, I'm going to select this one, the heading, and I'm going for the typography. And let's go and see how it looks. Okay, probably it is 700. Maybe it didn't change, I don't know. And let's go for 40 and we'll see it from there. Let's go for 44. Okay. After that, it's breaking because it doesn't have enough space. I can change, of course, the width of this content, and I'm going to do it later on. I'm going for 50. Yeah, no, I'm going to do it now. So let's check first this one. So we have the icon and we have a container, and this container, if we go into the width and here the percentage, and I'm going to put here 20%. Okay, something probably is not working correctly here because I'm changing and I'm putting more percentage value, but it's going smaller. I don't know why. Probably it's a bug. Let's go and select something like, I don't know, 90%. Doesn't make sense, but it's working as you can see. Okay, let's go for 95, something like that. Now let's go for the icon and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Let's go for 20. Okay, 25, I think 25, something like that. And I'm going to select also the container. Let's go for the items and let's put that into the end. And again, I'm going to set the width to be smaller. Container, and let's put here 90. Okay, 100. I think it's the smallest one what we have. Now, I don't know why it's not working. This one should work and it should take the width that I am selecting, because I have here the container. It contains 3 containers and this should have 33% each. This is how it's going to work. 33.33. And we usually go and change the percentage into a lower point, so we'll get a different width for the container. Now, also if I select here pixels and I go into 20 pixels or something, as you can see, it goes straight out of the line. Everything else is pushed around. So something is definitely not working correctly here. This is a bug. I cannot do anything with this width, obviously. So I have no choice but change a little bit this typography into something less. So let's go for something like, I don't know, 44, which will bring us into one line. Also, I'm going to remove the space that I have inside here. So let's go into this container. This contains the 3 columns. And let's go for the items. And here for the gaps, I'm going to go and select 0. This means that the containers that I have inside here do not have any space between those lines, between those columns. So let's go back into the container. Maybe we're going to try it again. I don't know. 20 pixels? No. It doesn't work to work. For some reason. 100%. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, let's go for 100%. And let's try to put this container with a little bit different width. Let's go for percentage and let's go for 30. Okay. And okay, this is really strange. Let's go for 60, 70% maybe. I need a little bit of space also for this container, so let's select also that. And let's go also for 60%. And let's try to make it a little bit bigger, 61. %. Okay, I have one container with 80%. I have next one with 69% of the whole row. And this one, I don't know what's the number. 100%. Obviously, it doesn't work as I want it to be. Let's change that. It is 21%, 25 as it says here. Even though I try to do something different, it doesn't seem to work. Okay, I'm going to leave it as it is now. And this is how it looks right now. So I need to go and put the dollar sign up a little bit on top of this number. In order to do that, I can go with a lot of ways, but I'm going to select here the container and I'm going for a margin at the bottom. And let's go let's go for margin at the bottom and let's go for 20, maybe, or 15, something like that. And after that, let's go and see what we have here. We have the 0.99 and then the month. So this container that has those 2 items will have 2 containers inside here. Let's add a container inside here. And this will be duplicated. So we have 2 containers inside here. The first will be a heading with 0.99.99. Okay. And this will go also with white color. And for the typography, let's go first for the content. Let's go for H6. Let's go and maybe change the size. Let's go and see how it looks. I think this size will stay as it is. And then for this one, I'm going also for a heading. I'm not using, for some reason, any text editor. And this was going to be /month. Okay, let's change also that to H6. And then let's go and change the style into white. Now, all I had to do here is go and choose how the width of those containers would go, and it would be almost identical to this one. But for some reason, this is not working correctly at the moment. Hopefully they will fix that, and hopefully you can understand what I'm trying to build, and when they launch the official release with this container, everything will work just fine. Let's try one more time or something like that. Okay, I have something like that. I cannot do anything with that. Let's check here and let's go into the items, and I'm going to put that to be flex start and to, of course, have those into columns, and this, it should go into the left, so it would go close into those numbers. Let's go now and try again for one last time the width, and if we change something like that, if we can do anything. Okay, now it's working. I don't know why. Okay, 100%. And let's go into here. Let's check this. And let's go for the typography and select that. And I cannot change that. Okay, so we have 53 pixels. And as you can see, we're pretty close to that. Now, all we need to do is change the color and give it a little bit of padding inside here. So let's go again in this one and let's see what we have selected. Okay, I need this container. No, this container. This is the one, this is the container that I need, and this is why I wanted to have different names. And now I can go into the advanced and let's go into the padding. Let's deselect that and let's go for 20 on top and let's go for 20 on the bottom. Okay, maybe more. 40 and 40. Something like that, and then we can change the color by going to the background and change a little bit different red. Again, I'm not going to go the same colors, but you can see what I'm trying to build here. Let's update that. And let's go for the next one, which will be this container that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 containers inside here. I'm not going to add 5 because I want to duplicate those. So I'm just going to add 1 and add the icon and the text here, the heading for me. And then I'm going to duplicate that the times that I want. So let's go back into the page, and as I can see, I have one more container that I would need. I don't know when I hit another container. Probably I duplicated more times than I needed. Doesn't matter. So let's select this one, this container. And inside here, I'm going to add another container. This will play the role of the row. So this container will contain one icon and one heading. Okay, I'm going to put the icon on top. And for the colors, let's see what we have. Everything is in white. No, the icon is in black color, as I can see here. And basically, it's a checkpoint here. So let's click here. Let's select here the check. This is the one. Insert. And then we need to change the color to black. And for the text, I'm going to change that to H6, no, H5, something like that. And let's say here we have 1 GB disk space, so we have something like a text, 1 GB disk space. And the color is white. After that, I'm going to select this container, the row, and I'm going for the items, and I can go and select that to be in the same row. And of course, I need to put that in the center, so it will go into the same, into the middle. Let's go and select the icon, and I'm going to select the size to be 2030, maybe. Let's check. I think that it's Around 30, yeah, it's around 30. And after that, inside the container, I should also select that to be in the center. Okay, something like that. Let's check. And as you can see, every row has a little bit of borders here or a shadow. You can play with two ways and you can see what you can create with a shadow, or you can create that with a border probably. So let's go here and select a little bit of padding inside that container. Let's select that to be maybe 20 on top and 20 in the bottom. I think it's way too big. Yeah, it's way too big. Let's go for 10 and 10. And let's go for a border. Let's go and select this style. Let's go for border and let's select that border to be on top. Not radius, sorry. Let's go for solid. Let's check that and put here only on top and on bottom. 1. And for the color, I'm going for a white with a transparency, something like that, probably. Or maybe a black with a transparency. I think it's closer to a black with a transparency. Not here, the black, sorry. This is the one. This is the one. And let's go for the border and let's select here to be black with a little bit of transparency. Something like that, I think. Yeah, not quite right. I'm not getting that. I have to zoom in order to see what is here, but it messes up the picture. Maybe I have to do it with a shadow, but I'm not going to address it, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Okay, you can play with a shadow or you can go and select a different border if you want. So now that I have the container ready, I can go and duplicate that. 1, 2, I think it's 5 containers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 5. And now I need to go into this container and I'm going into the items and remove the gap and select here 0. So we have something like that. Let's update that. And now let's go again into here and we're going to see now that we have also a button here. So let's go back and here I'm going inside here and I'm going to add a new container. And inside that container I need here an icon and I need also the heading. Sign up now. So let's do that. Let's add the icon, which will be an arrow with the box. Now, I don't know the icon name here. Let's go for sign up. Let's go for something. Yeah, this is more to that icon. I think this is exactly the same icon. Yeah, it's exactly the same icon. So let's change now the color and let's put that in white. Okay, and then we have the sign up now. So let's add also a heading. And this is inside the same container. Okay, so this will say sign up now. Sign up now. All right, I need now to change that to H5 maybe, and then let's go for the style and put that as a white. After that I need to go into the container and select the items and select that to be in the same row. Let's put that in the center and then all of that in the center. After that let's change the size of the icon. Let's go into the style and into the size and let's go for 30. Let's check, maybe a little bit smaller. No, I think 30 is okay. I don't think that we need to change it anymore. Now, what I need to do is go and change the whole color here. So let's go and select first the container here that contains the container inside. And let's go and change the color for here. Let's go into the style and let's go for the background type and let's select that to be a different color, like this one, something like that. Maybe a little bit lighter in order to see the button later on. And I'm going also to put a little bit of padding. So let's go and put here 40 and 40 for the bottom. And then let's go for the right and put here 20 for the right and 20 for the left. Okay, something like that. And as you can see now, I have a little bit of space so I can create my button. I'm going to select here the container that contains the icon and the heading. And I'm going to change first the background color again because this is a button. And let's go into the style and let's go and check and take a different color. So I'm going to go for this one in order to is more visible. And I have a little bit of radius, so I need to change also the border and I need to put a little bit of radius, maybe 10, something like that. Okay, after that I also want to put a little bit of shadow, probably. So let's go into the box shadow. And let's change that to, I don't know, 5, 3, something like that. Maybe 2. Let's update that. Let's delete that container. Okay. And now I also need to do 2 more things. First is to put an icon. This is a button, so I need to put a link. So I'm going to select that container, this one, and let's go into the layout. I'm going to select for the HTML tag to be an A, and then we have the link. So now I can select something here. Of course, I don't have any link to put that. Let's update that. And also, if you're going to see that, I need to put a little bit of space inside the button, and also we have a line here that is after the icon. So in order to do that, first I'm going to put a little bit of padding. Let's go into the container and let's go into the padding. Let's unlink those and let's go for 5 on top, 5 on the bottom. And I think it's a little bit more, 7 and 7. And then I'm going for this one. And I want to put a line after this one, after the icon. Now, the problem is that the icon is not taking the whole space, as you can see here, from the button, because I have a little bit of padding inside here. So if I put here the border inside the icon, it will not go and on top and bottom. So I can solve that in 2 different ways. I can remove the padding from the button, from the content here, from the container, and put that inside the element and put that as a margin or a padding. It doesn't matter. It will work both ways. And then I can put after that a border in the right with a little bit of color, or maybe just a shadow into the right. Or I can add 2 containers inside this container, one for the icon and one for the heading, and then give a little bit of box shadow inside the first container and add a little bit of padding inside the containers to push them and give them a little bit of space for the button. Now, since the containers is not working 100%, the containers won't work correctly with the widths, I'm not going to try that. So I'm going to remove now the top padding and the bottom padding here. So let's try with the first method. Let's try and put a little bit of first padding inside the elements. Let's go and unlink that and let's go 7 here and 7 on the bottom. Okay, this gave us the space, and then I need to put a little bit of space in the right. So let's go for 20, something like that, maybe. And then I can go into the border or the box shadow, whatever you choose, and maybe give it to the right and add the line that we had inside here. I'm going to make it simple, so I'm going to put that just as a border. Unlink those and put that as 2, maybe a little bit of black with a transparency of something like that. I don't know. Let's update that and see how it looks in the front end. So this is what we have created, and we created that without the need of an element, a separate element that was the pricing table. We created everything using the container and simple elements from the free plan of Elementor. We didn't use anything from the pro plan. All of those are in the free version. I think this needs a little bit of border radius, probably. I don't see that they have any, but I would like to add something here. But okay, I'm not going to, so I'm going to duplicate that 4 times in order to have those columns inside here. So let's go here and let's go to the first container. Let's check if it's this one. No, I think, yeah, this is the one. So I'm going to duplicate now. Let's close all of those things and let's duplicate that. Okay, and that didn't work. I duplicate the wrong thing. Let's delete that. Let's open that container and here is the one that I want. Okay, so let's go and duplicate, 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 and let's delete that, and delete that. So we have now the 4 columns that I want. So you can easily go and change the text as you please. So that was the video, guys, for the container element. Hopefully you can understand how it works. You can use it to create more advanced and complex layouts. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.